P&B's Wild World of Ports. That's Patrick and Becca. What's going on, you guys?
Hey, not much, Tony.
Hey, Jenny.
Tony and Jenny from Lalito Loca, ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks for the intro, guys.
Thank you. I'm Patrick.
I'm Becca.
And welcome to P&B's Wide World of Ports. So today we're going to be doing our review of the Norwegian Breakaway. We were on the Vloggers Extravaganza cruise at the very end of January and first part of February. And so we've written down some pros and some cons, and you know how we do it. So I say we just jump right in.
Okay.
This is our second time on the Breakaway, and our experiences were pretty different.
Yep.
The first experience was probably unlike any other cruising experience we'd ever had. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
So it started out, we went to offsite parking, and as we were arriving to the offsite parking to drop off our vehicle, somebody was getting off the previous cruise, which coincidentally was the very first cruise the Breakaway did out of New Orleans. So we were on the second one. So as we were dropping our car off, there was a couple picking up their car to go home from their cruise. And so as they're coming up to get their keys, Becca goes up to the lady and says, "Was that just like an awesome cruise or what?" And you want to tell him or her reaction?
She was just like, and just walked off.
Yeah, she wanted to say something, but apoplexy took over. And then the husband was like...
Apoplexy?
Yes.
That's a big word.
Being rendered speechless due to anger.
I'm sure that's what it means.
Then the husband is like, "It was fine. It was good. It was fine." And that was that. So we're like, wonder what we've gotten ourselves into.
Yeah.
So, in a nutshell, the crew on that cruise was probably the most... Okay, they were not rude, and they just weren't friendly.
They were overworked.
Yeah, I think they were overworked. They were on a new itinerary, and it was just really weird because it was kind of like you were maybe at Walmart, where there's
you were kind of bothering them.
people doing their job and kind of wanting to be left alone. There were a few that were very friendly, but that was more the exception.
Yeah.
And it was very strange.
It was still a good cruise.
It was still a good cruise, but it's just weird being on a cruise where the majority of the crew is just they just weren't being friendly.
Yeah.
So that being said, I'm going to jump right into my list of cons. First one was the layout of the ship. It is a beautiful ship. They maintain it well, but I just wasn't crazy about the floor plan, the layout. For as big a ship as it is, it's really blocky and closed off, I would say. There's not a lot of huge open areas, especially like on the Lido. It's kind of chopped up where they kind of have a kids area and then a couple of bars and then a pool for the adults. And so this is just personal preference. It's not one of my favorite ship layouts.
Well, they did a lot of activities in the atrium, and there weren't a ton of seats. So
That's true.
At all times there was, sometimes it was hard to even walk through because there were so many people.
Yeah, because you got guest services and then just a walkway and then the atrium.
And they did a lot of things in the atrium that they probably could have done in the theater.
Agreed.
Because there were so many people. The drinks were never the same. And I've heard this from a lot of people, but you would go to a bar, you would order whatever.
Blackberry Bourbon Smash.
Blackberry Bourbon Smash, which is really good, and absolutely try it. It's on tap there. But so we ordered, and was ours different? Or was it?
We got it 2 different times, which is weird.
Yeah.
With it being on tap, we figured it would be consistent. But the first time we had it, it was very sweet and fruity, and the second time it was very strong.
And so I was into trying some new drinks, and if they didn't have what I wanted, which was fine, they were out of Malibu rum everywhere, which is my big go-to. But I know I like cranberry in drinks, and I know I like grapefruit juice. So I would order a cranberry drink. I'd be like, whatever you got, just put it with cranberry. And they would give it to me. I'd be like, what is this called? And they said, this is called a surprise me. And I was like, fun, because that's what I said, surprise me. So then I'd go back to that same bar. Bartender would be gone, and I'd be like, I want this again. He said it was called a surprise me, and they were like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So
we think he might have just been making that up.
Yeah. So, and there was a couple other times that I did that, but I'd find the same bartender and I'd be like, hey, give me what you just did. And he would make it completely different. So drinks weren't really the same. No Malibu rum. Bartenders weren't always the same at the bars. So
No consistency, right?
Yeah.
Okay, mine kind of ties in with the drinks package. Our cruise included the ultimate beverage package, which included alcohol, sodas, juice, drinks. It, however, did not include bottled water, which I thought was kind of odd, which the Norwegian bottles are kind of a box bottle hybrid. Anyway, so if you wanted a bottle of water, you had to go up to the bar and they would charge you for it. Also, along the same lines, the only place you could get specialty coffees was at Starbucks. They had a Starbucks on board, and that was the only place you could get specialty coffees, and that was not included in the beverage package. It was available for an extra charge. You could get another, like a coffee package. Am I remembering that correctly?
You could add the Starbucks package onto your already purchased.
Yeah, for like
drink.
another $25 a day or something. So we elected not to do that. We did stop at Starbucks several times, but I didn't care for the fact that the water and the specialty coffees were not included.
Well, you couldn't even get like just a plain cappuccino at breakfast at the restaurant or whatever.
And I would have been fine with just a place that would do that. So
well, so mine, I didn't have very many dislikes because I didn't have very many, but the ones I did have were big. Okay. So
we agree on this one for sure.
We have never missed a port before. We missed Harvest, Key, or K. Who knows the proper way?
However you want to pronounce it.
Because of winds. Fine. Absolutely fine. There was an excursion we were really looking forward to, but you know what? We can't.
It's that cruise life.
Yeah. We can't control it. They can't control it. It was for our safety. Perfect. However, usually on cruises, if you miss a port, they automatically refund your port fees and taxes. You've paid for them. We didn't really think anything about it, mostly because it's Norwegian's private island. And so I would assume we wouldn't even pay port fees and taxes.
I was
there.
assuming the same thing, yes.
So like on the next to last day, somebody came out to us and they were like, hey, did you get your refund for missing the port? And we're like, no.
What?
Yeah. And they were like, yeah, it's only $10, but still $10 per person. That's a Starbucks per person, you know? So we're like, yeah, let's go do that. And so we went up there and asked for it. And we were like, so if we wouldn't have asked, would we have gotten this? And they were like, no. And
then I said, would you mind telling me just why you guys don't automatically refund it? Or at least let us know we need to come down and get the refund. And he basically just said, I can't answer that. I'm just doing my job here. So.
And mind you, also, we were, like I said, next to the last day. And he said, these are non-refundable. So if you don't use it, you lose it.
Yeah.
And we're like, fine, we'll get an extra Starbucks. So mind you, we did have already a little bit of credit still, on-board credit. And so this added $20 on-board credit, and this will come into play later.
And I think this was the day before Disembarkation.
It was a night.
We had that last night to go through this whopping $20.
Yeah.
That leads us to what happened next. And this was on Disembarkation. And here's a little clip of what happened to us on the way off the ship. So we've just been told that we either have a refund or an outstanding balance, and they're not going to let us off the ship, even though we have a credit card on file. So they're making us stand in a very long line to talk to that guy. And we have a plane to catch, so I don't know how this is going to play out.
Okay, so I'm really glad he didn't film me during all that.
And I tried to, and she said, don't put me on camera. So basically what happened is we gave them our cards for that final scan so we could get off the ship. Bells went off, the alarm, it was MSC all over again. Yeah. And they said, you either have an outstanding balance or a refund coming to you, so you need to go over to that line that you saw in the video. And I said, you know what, we have a card on file. If you owe us money, keep it. We just want to get off the ship. He's like, no, you cannot get off the ship. You have to go through that line, and we have to figure out what's going on, or get your refund, or get the outstanding balance taken care of. We did not want to stay on that ship. We wanted to get off the ship and get to the airport and, get ready to fly home. So
I'm going to reiterate here that they told us that $20 credit was non-refundable. So we can't get that back.
Yes.
So
the issue was they owed us money. $15.
Yeah. Well, so what happened was they told us to get in the back of this line. It was probably, 25 people long?
And it was barely moving.
They had 2 people working this little checkout thing. Everyone was mad. Everyone. And I went up to the little guy and I was like, listen, we have a flight to catch, which is true. We did. it was an 11:30 flight, so it was. I mean, it was
Yeah.
early, but still,
We didn't
like,
have a ton of time to spare, but
no, we were gonna get there right, and we
Yeah.
did. We got there right on time, and I was like, "Are you gonna pay for my flight if I miss it?" So he was like, "Fine, just come up here." And so he moved me to the front of the line. I was like, "Dude, all of these people have flights as well, so I mean." Sure, you're helping me out.
she's
but
like, just let us get off the ship.
Yeah.
That's all we wanted. We didn't care if they owed us money.
I was like, keep the money. So they refunded us our non-refundable $15.
Which held us up for what, another, I don't know.
30, 45 minutes, but it probably would have held us up over an hour.
Yes, if we had
Hour and a half, 2 hours.
And if you guys have watched a review on this cruise, you've probably heard this before because it happened to a lot of people. But I think it reached the point where people were just saying, "No, I'm getting off the ship," and they just left. And
Yeah.
really, that's probably what we should have done because I mean, we're not rule breakers, but I mean, when it gets, she's kind of a rule breaker, but you know, there comes a point where you just gotta. I mean, like I said, we had the card on file. Didn't care if they owed us money. We just wanted off the ship. So.
And what they should do is just take that money and split it with the crew.
Yeah,
I mean, why wouldn't they do that? Like, if we're sitting there saying we don't care. Anyway, it was a really, really bad thing to happen when we got off this really great cruise because it left a bad taste in our mouth for Norwegian. And it's kind of like, you know what? If we don't have to sail Norwegian, we might not for a while anyway.
And truth be told, NCL once upon a time was our favorite cruise line.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, for 4 years we were NCL loyal.
Yeah.
And it was, just a combination of what happened on our last Breakaway cruise and definitely this cruise. They're probably toward the bottom of our list now, but we're not gonna we're not gonna be those people. They're at the very bottom.
They're at they're at the bottom.
We're not gonna be those people that say I'm never gonna sail NCL again. But
I've said that though.
But they've been in the news lately for some negative things, so they're gonna have to change some stuff if they want to still be up at the top of other people's lists.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all I have for cons. There weren't very many cons, but those last two, the refund, that was
and I'll just
significant.
add one more little thing. Part of the deal for our cruise, one of the perks that we got
for the group cruise
was we were supposed to get 6 of the large bottles of water in our stateroom first day of the cruise. And I actually had forgotten that.
Oh, I did too.
And but we didn't hear about it till like 3 days in. They're like, "Did you get your water?" And we're like, "Oh yeah, I remember seeing something about that." Josh Hokum had to go to bat for us. He told them, "Hey, most of us have not gotten our water," and they're like, "What are you talking about? That wasn't part of the deal." So he had to go back into the archives and find the email and take it to him and say, right here, black and white, it says part of this package is every stateroom gets 6 bottles of water. So it was 3 or 4 days into the cruise, we finally got our water. So, if he hadn't held them to it, thank you, Josh, by the way, then that would have been one more thing that they did that was kind of shady.
Yeah,
I mean,
and that took away time from Josh's cruise too.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think Sharon had a part to do with it too, as far as looking up. I mean, that took time out of their cruise to have to go chase that down.
Yeah.
So that's not cool, Norwegian. Not cool.
Not cool. Okay. Enough of the negatives. Let's move on to the positives. Since I did the last negative, I'll let you do the first positive.
Oh, well, I have to pull it up.
Okay.
Okay, my first positive was the variety of places to eat. So we don't usually do the specialty dining unless it comes with the package or whatever that we've purchased. And so on most cruise ships, we go from buffet to main dining, buffet, main dining. Pretty much it. This time, I mean, we ate in the main dining room for dinner.
So there's like the Manhattan room, and then there was
Yeah.
Taste and Savor, which those are all 3 MDRs. So we did Taste and Savor quite a bit. They were the smaller main dining rooms.
But I appreciated that there was so much of a variety to eat. There was a lot of restaurants on this ship. I'm gonna get kicked out.
I put food on there as well. Every time we've been on an NCL, the food has been good. We've really enjoyed it. And I think we especially enjoyed Oceans this time because we had breakfast there almost every morning.
But they didn't have the potato skins, and they didn't have did they have nachos this time?
I think they had them. I think we just forgot to order them.
Okay. But everything was good.
Yeah, it was really good. And specialty dining we did teppanyaki, which was awesome.
Delish.
And Moderno.
Moderno.
Yeah. And they were both really good. So food,
Food was
Definite,
good.
definite plus. Yeah.
Am I up again?
Well, I agreed with you on that one. I can go ahead and
I
jump
got
to
you,
the
I
next
got
one.
you.
Okay.
Okay, so I put the escape room. We've never done an escape room on a ship.
Wasn't an
before.
actual room. It was an escape game
Yes.
in a room.
I just feel like that they just had a different variety of things that we really haven't seen before. Like that last night with the movie skit. We've not seen that before. It was funny. But the escape game, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun.
It was like doing an escape room, but everybody, if you saw the video, everybody just got to sit at the table together that was on the team, and we all worked together to get the box open and figure it out. So one thing that I was really happy with was the temperature control in the room. It seemed like it took just a matter of minutes to adjust the temperature to what we were comfortable with. So that's not always been the case on a cruise ship. So it's nice to go in the room and know that, within 2-3 minutes, it's going to be just how you like it.
Yeah. I'll do arts and crafts. Yeah. What are you laughing about?
No, that was...
Yeah, another thing you kind of really don't think about it, but it was so fun. And I got yelled at during the origami thing. And yes, he did yell at me, but it was all
She always works ahead.
You know what?
Go ahead.
I wasn't working ahead. I just pay very close attention. He did the instructions 2 times, and I paid attention when he did it the first time. Anyway, it was a lot of fun. It was very relaxed.
She doesn't like to follow directions either.
That's true. But yeah, I liked it. It's good added bonus.
Yeah. Embarkation. It was a really smooth embarkation. We stood in the line not for very long at all. And once we got to the desk, it was just a few minutes. And we did have to wait to get on the ship, but that was like
probably one of the most fun.
It was amazing because
times of the whole cruise.
Yeah, the atmosphere there when you walk in, when number one you're seeing vloggers that you've been watching for years, and everybody's just so excited. It's loud, and just the energy level was way high.
Yeah, it was awesome. So I know I complained about the bartending staff earlier, but now I'll not take it back. But they would give you 2 drinks at once, and so not every time probably, but a lot of times.
And you could order multiple drinks at once, which was kind of nice.
It was very nice because when you get a soda and they give you a cup that's that, and you're done in 2.5 seconds.
Well, yeah, because it's overflowing with ice.
Right.
So.
But they would give you 2 sodas, or we usually drink the same thing, and so they would give us 2. We don't have to scan 1 card, and so that was nice.
Yeah, that was nice.
It was a time saver, I think, for sure.
And I would say overall staff on this cruise was amazing. Our room stewards I think they were really overworked. Though our personal room steward, he just was not real friendly in the hallway, which, I'm not complaining. I get it. He's got a ton of rooms to clean. It's just not what we're used to. And then there was another one that worked the rooms further down the hall, and we said hi to her every time we walked by. And she would just avoid eye contact, as much as she could. But if we said hi to her, she would say hi, but you could tell she just wanted to get her job over with and be done. So I think part of that is just the workload that they have. And so, we weren't mad, we get it, but our experience with the staff was, 100 times better than our first cruise on the Breakaway.
Yeah. Okay, my last one is the excursion in Costa Maya. This was the only excursion we actually paid for it through the ship. Whatever company they hired, top notch. Everything from making sure we were comfortable on the bus, on the boat, or we went scuba diving. I guess I should say what our excursion was.
It was more like snorkeling.
It was snorkeling. It wasn't scuba diving. I wouldn't scuba dive. I might. I don't know. Anyway, it was a glass bottom boat with a snorkel, and then tequila tasting, and then the beach. And it was great. The staff was very attentive. I don't know. I just felt very well taken care of, probably more than any excursion we've ever done, I think. Now, we did leave early. The beach was not real pretty.
Yeah, and it had a little bit of a funk to it, I would say.
But so we asked our little guy if we could leave, and he was like, "Oh, what?"
Yeah.
And we're like,
he wasn't used to that.
Yeah, we really were ready to get back on the boat and eat a good meal, and so he just had us sign this waiver and say, "You're released from my care," and along we went.
Yeah. $4 cab ride back to the ship.
Yeah, it was perfect.
It was great. So, in conclusion, I would say it was a great cruise. It was
Superb.
fun. Just being the vloggers cruise, it was. I don't know that it's going to happen again. So it may have possibly been a once in a lifetime experience. So I'm really glad we went. All of the vloggers we met were just super nice, and we got to meet new ones. And I want to give a special shout out to Rob McNeil from Here Today, Where Tomorrow. We had a blast with him. A shout out to the Colazars. They are the ones who hooked us up, and I was able to get a hold of him before the cruise, and we met up at the hotel morning of the cruise, and gosh, we all just hit it off. We're three peas in a pod, I would say.
And a huge shout out to the Colazars too. They had sent our kids snorkel gear that we used, not only on this cruise, but on the last cruise. And
not scuba
amazing.
gear.
Did I say scuba again?
No, I'm just saying. Snorkel gear, yes. Snorkel masks. So thank you, Mark and Nathan.
Yeah.
So once again, thank you to everyone who has subscribed to our channel and watched our videos. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider it. It really helps our channel. We just hit that 500 milestone, and we want to just keep going from here.
Tell your friends.
And we'll be going on another cruise in less than 2 weeks, so we're going to bring you some more vlogs from
the Celebrity Solstice.
Mexican Riviera.
So excited. Oh, and we're taking the kids, so.
Yeah, it'll be a family cruise, so look forward to that. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.